Welcome to the 3P's podcast from Zeus Fire and Security. I'm Scott Elkins, CEO of Zeus, and I'm excited you're tuning in today. At Zeus, our mission is simple. We protect people, property, and profits. And we do it through innovation, teamwork, and a relentless drive for excellence. In this special leadership series, we're shining a light on the people driving growth, innovation, and success across the Zeus network. Each episode, we sit down with one of our leaders to explore their journey, their leadership style, and the real-world lessons they've learned along the way. These conversations are about more than job titles. They're about how we build strong teams, serve our customers, and lead with purpose. Today's guest is Chris McGurk, Vice President of Sales at Zeus Fire and Security. Chris oversees our national accounts divisions across Zeus, which helps protect more than $15 billion in commercial assets. I've had the pleasure of working with Chris for the last 18 years, and that journey extended to when UAS, my former business, joined the Zeus family in early 2022. Chris has been a driving force behind market expansion, customer relationships, and high-performance sales leadership. Chris, welcome to the podcast. It's great to have you.
Thanks, Scott. It's great to be here. I'm a big fan of the podcast, and I'm thrilled to be a participant.
Awesome. Let's get it started.
Sure.
Chris, I think our audience would be really interested in your journey to Zeus.
Yes.
And maybe even your journey to UAS before Zeus. Love to hear about it.
Yeah. I'll give you the 30,000 foot version. So as you know, I started right out of Drexel University at IBM. IBM, I learned the logical selling process, which was a tool I still use to this day. And it taught us very well how to take a prospect from beginning to end in that logical selling process that we went through. From there, I went into a smaller telecommunications, more entrepreneurial-based business, and really was in on the ground floor and had to sell. I was in the field, started in the field, ended up in senior management. But in the field, I had to learn how to break barriers that I didn't have to do at IBM. People didn't know our name. They didn't know our product. They didn't know our history. So I learned really quickly on my own how to work verticals, right? And,
Sure.
and how to better understand the needs of verticals and how to solve the needs of verticals and how to become a specialist rather than a generalist in the marketplace.
So my guess is that the IBM experience, IBM probably opened a bunch of doors for you.
Yes.
The next experience, you had to open your own doors.
Yes.
But you used the tools that you learned at IBM to help with that next experience.
Yes.
And then UAS.
Well, yeah, that compounding process led me into UAS, where I was able to use really both and all sets of tools. So learning or teaching the logical selling process to our salespeople simultaneously with a product where I think you and I over the years did a pretty good job of adding value to what could have been perceived as a commodity. And what some people did perceive as a commodity, unfortunately, some people still perceive it as a commodity. We were able to add value to it. We were able to add features. We were able to understand our customers and our prospects' needs by vertical and to tailor our product offering to those customers and to those verticals, thus building value and being able to sell value and solve problems.
Yeah, and that was a great 15 years, a great run, as we say,
Yeah.
a lot of fun. I think we both learned a lot
Yes.
along the way about how to sell, how to build teams, how to meet the market where they're at, and then really how to advance the market.
Yeah.
Right, which was also something that we did. I think we created a market where maybe the market hadn't been there before. We go from UAS, and then collectively we both have this major life experience.
Yes.
Where we joined the Zeus family. What was that like for you?
That was and has been a fabulous next step in the career, not only the career journey, but the UAS journey, to now be part of an organization where talent has developed around us and been brought in around us for, as you know, for 15 years. You and I and a couple other people did all of the heavy lifting. And our ideas were ideas, they were theories. Sometimes they were unproven ideas and theories, and there were ones that, most time worked, and we were right. Now we have people around us who have lived these ideas and have proven out a lot of these ideas. So the new ideas that we're bringing to the table and implementing in the marketplace are proven ones, and ones that have worked successfully in other companies for other people.
Yeah, we talk a lot at Zeus about being better when we're together.
Yeah.
And it is the notion of, 1 + 1 = 3.
Yeah.
And you had a lot of success at UAS, a lot of success in the early days at Zeus. How do we now take those successes and kind of grow them to a point where they become scalable, not only at UAS, but across all the Zeus companies? And I think at the end of the day, it starts with sales leadership. Yeah, and so we've talked about Salesforce a lot, obviously, because we think it's an incredibly powerful tool.
Yeah.
One of the challenges that we've always had historically in sales is how we measure success on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis.
Yeah.
And we always measure it kind of in arrears.
Yeah.
Right? We look at the end of the month and we say, that's what we did. I'm curious, now we use Salesforce to provide leading indicators.
Yes.
Help me understand, help us understand why leading indicators are so important. Why would anybody invest the time in this to identify leading indicators?
Yeah, because leading indicators in sales is everything. What you do today is not going to necessarily impact you today, but it's going to impact you 30 days from now and 60 days from now. So what I've always taught was the daily activity. What I couldn't measure before was the adherence to that daily activity, right? X amount of calls, X amount of time segregated in your day where you're prospecting. Are you hitting the right prospects? Are you hitting them in the right way? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. By default, all we could measure was what we just achieved from basically a sales board standpoint. Mm-hmm. And if those numbers were acceptable, then yes, you must be doing your leading indicators right. And if those numbers were not acceptable, then no, you're not doing your leading indicators correctly.
So what's an example of a leading indicator that will lead you to believe that a salesperson might need some coaching?
There are a bunch of those. The primary one is my ability to see literally today the activity level of a person sitting 20 feet from me. Calls, tasks completed, calendar events that were inputted, notes that were taken on the calls. So at lunchtime, as we regroup for the second half of the day, Scott, how was your morning? Oh, it was good, good, good. I made a lot of calls. Yeah, I was looking at some of those calls. And what I noticed was you had notes, they were very cryptic notes, but I also noticed you didn't set a follow-up task for some of those calls. And it seemed like you should have. So I'm wondering how that lead will come back around for you, because the tagline that we live by in our verticals is every prospect in that vertical is a prospect for life. It's not if we will get them as a customer, it's when we will get them as a customer. And that comes up as a result of methodically touching them over time. Sometimes timing has to work for you. Sometimes they have to hear from someone else that, yeah, that UAS, oh, we use them. They're great. Oh, really? Yeah, that guy's been calling me for 2 years. I've never taken his call. Or, yeah, we had that problem. Same problem you had. We had it. UAS came in. They put cameras up. Now they can tell me if someone's in my... Yeah. No, they've been reaching out to me. I've never actually engaged with them. Maybe I should now. And then here we come along with our periodic touching, but yet you made a call note and didn't set a follow-up task. So help me understand your logic. Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess I really didn't, kind of do what I was supposed to do there.
Yeah, so we can hold our salespeople accountable, which really helps because, as you just said, when the customer's ready, we have no way of knowing when they're going to be ready.
Yeah.
But if we're there regularly and we're there at the right time, they're ready. We're likely going to be their provider. So if I'm an alarm company owner, security company owner, considering partnering with the Zeus family, and want to know from a sales standpoint what Zeus can do to help us perform better.
Yeah.
Salesforce is part of that?
Salesforce pre-Zeus for us was put the order in so it hits the sales board, right? Now, it is a multiplier for us. And I'm not talking a 5 times or a 10 times multiplier. It is a tremendous multiplier for us. And as a new company coming under the Zeus umbrella, that would be one of the revelations that I think you would realize right out of the gate and first. That Salesforce you have currently will be able to do so much more, have so much better tools, have so much more resources available to it, that your people will be able to focus on what they want to focus on, which is engagement with prospects, and not doing marketing campaigns or mailing letters or, those ancillary things that pre-Salesforce and a really professional marketing department that we bring to the table, they were doing themselves.
Yeah, so we're going from, and we help take companies from this notion of we're waiting for the phone to ring, referrals, which are great, but they're not a way to really run an effective Salesforce. You've got referrals, and then you've got some salespeople that are prospecting, but it's light prospecting, to this incredible tool which ties in sophisticated marketing, sophisticated sales tools that can really put sales on a hyper growth trajectory.
Terminology means a lot, and people use the word lead differently. A lead is not a name on a piece of paper. That's a suspect. A lead is someone who has indicated interest in our services. Salesforce and the marketing department now for us produce actual leads. We didn't get leads for. We had plenty of data. We had plenty of data point. We had plenty of suspects that we turned into leads. But as you know, that's a lot of heavy lifting.
Sure.
And it's really nice when once a day someone comes across your desk, doesn't physically, it comes across your desk as a lead in Salesforce, that this company has expressed an interest in what we do.
Yes, let's double tap on that for just a moment, because this is something that I don't think you and I 15 years ago would have believed to be true.
No.
So what we use the sales and marketing arm of Zeus to help create opportunities that literally wind up in a salesperson's Salesforce dashboard as a legitimate lead, a prospect that has identified that they have a need, and they want somebody from a Zeus company to reach out to them. That never happened in my early career. It never happened in your career.
No.
Every deal that we ever got, we fought for.
Yes.
The notion of having one show up sounds almost too good to be true.
It sounds too good to be true, and initially it almost was. You're like, all right, what's the catch here? There is no catch. There is no catch. They were touched multiple times. They read the emails. They clicked through the emails. They went to our website. They may have filled out a form. They may have returned the email and said, yes, I have a need in that area. Now, of course, we're very target marketing is key. Ours is not a one-size-fits-all, everybody's a prospect method. Ours, as I alluded to earlier, is very vertically oriented. We know our verticals. We know the needs of our verticals, and we target our marketing towards our verticals. Right now, in a hub, in a metro area, it's a condensed version of that. It's a version where we know the general marketplace in this area. It's more of a geographic play than a vertical play, but they need camera systems, they need alarm systems, they need fire systems, right? And we do vertical plays simultaneously.
So we can market both nationally and within that hub environment, within that local environment, and it's really the opposite side of the same coin.
Yeah, I would, as a small potential hub coming under the Zeus umbrella, there's a lot of things to get excited about. From where I sit, this is the biggest one to get excited about. This is the biggest needle mover that I've seen. Again, but I sit in the sales and marketing seat, but I've seen that needle move tremendously.
Yeah, so what's great about this is, and what's great about this podcast series is that we're speaking with functional leads across all of our functions: sales, marketing, IT, finance, operations, and there are similar tools across all of those functions that make all of them more efficient as well, which also benefits sales and benefits everyone else.
Yeah.
Chris, I'm curious from a technology standpoint. Our industry's changed a lot over the last 20 years. I'd argue more in the last 10 or 15 than in the previous 50.
Yeah.
What have you seen as kind of the biggest changes from a technology standpoint in our space?
Well, I see it on two levels. I see it on the product level, right? The product that we deliver, the issues we're able to solve with our product set for our customers, our ability to make our customers' businesses better run and more profitable by implementing our products. And then I see it on the internal side. And frankly, they're both are tremendously impacting to our customers and to us. The tools, the technology that has been deployed internally, Salesforce and Pros. Pros is our CPQ tool.
Our quoting tool. Mm-hmm.
Configure, price, quote. That allows, so I hate to go backwards again, but 15, 18 years ago, spreadsheets, just, I don't want to say a mess, but a project to get a quote out the door, right? A spreadsheet to a series of checks and balances to make sure the pricing was correct, a swivel over to Word to get the proposal out the door. Is it accurate? Is it saying what we need it to say? Is it consistent? Hours to get a configuration priced and quoted and out the door. Literally now minutes. And not only minutes to do it, but to do it properly, where all the checks and balances are built into Pros and they're built into software. And if there is approval needed, it is an automatic flow to the people that need to see the quote to say, yes, this meets all the criteria. I'm good with this, go. Proposal automatically generated, proposal out, proposal consistent, proposal saying what it needs to say and not saying things that it should not say.
Yeah.
Because a salesperson wants to embellish or do whatever. So the consistency and the ability to, go from an appointment yesterday to a proposal today in a professional manner is a quantum leap for our business.
And that carries all the way through to signing of a contract and opening up an account within the Zeus hub.
100% automated, 100% DocuSign. Everything flows. Everything's automated. So as a potential hub coming under the Zeus umbrella, I see these tools as game changers for that business. That business can focus on what it wants to and what it needs to, which is touching the marketplace more consistently and not dealing with internal, issues or challenges, or it's all kind of taken care of.
So clearly technology has helped internally, not only in managing the business, but creating a process from the salesperson's first touch all the way through contract, all the way into operations in a seamless manner in ways we could have never imagined 10, 15 years ago. How about the actual systems and services that we've installed? How has that technology changed in the 18 years that you've been part of this industry?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's really pertinent because it has changed a lot. 18 years ago, the product set that I kind of inherited to sell was somewhat of a commodity. It was a price oriented. We didn't, but the marketplace sold on price. We immediately pivoted and said, no, we've got features here that are unique, and we've got verticals, and we've got markets, and we've got customers where these features would really benefit. That growth has been exponential over the years to the point where now we're solving problems for customers that they didn't believe were solvable.
So based on our conversation, we have technology that can identify driveaways.
Yeah.
What do we do about it? What does the operator do about it?
What the operator does, if he uses the technology properly, is he says, hey, these are my times of day where I get stack lines, and these are where I get driveaways. This is where I need to focus my attention. This is where I need to redeploy resources. It doesn't do me any good to have two kids standing at the front counter waiting for customers that aren't there and have a line out back, right? Redeploy the resources.
Yeah, so we basically have come full circle to leading versus lagging indicators.
Yes.
Losing the customer is a lagging indicator. You're not going to see that customer revenues fall.
They just don't come back.
Leading indicator is we've identified that there's this slowdown
Yes.
and these driveaways, and we can in real time make a change so that we're not going to lose customers.
Exactly.
So in the time that you've been in the industry, security was used primarily to stop a bad guy from coming in, maybe catch a bad guy, right, if you're fortunate enough. But it sounds to me like it's had more operational benefits than it does security benefits, or at least as many. It's
funny, Scott. I think when I started, the average store had about 6 or 8 cameras. And they were analog, but they were good, but they were the best available.
It was the technology of the day.
Right. Mm-hmm. Then they went to 10. Cameras got better. All right, cameras got better. Why would you get more cameras? You'd think you'd need less cameras. They got more cameras because they were using them more, because they were better. And now it went to 12 cameras, and then it went to 16. The average now is over 20, and they are crystal clear 2 or 4 megapixel IP cameras. So why would you need that many? You need that many because you're using them now for different purposes.
Yeah.
You're using them to run the business better.
Yeah, and we talked about value from the start, right? So if the customer wants more, they generally want more because they're getting more value from those systems. So
exactly.
It sounds like it went from pure security to security plus operations and a return on that investment.
Yeah, if you look at I'm a pie chart guy. If you look at the pie chart from 15 years ago, it was probably 90% security, 10% ops. It's almost flipped. It's almost 80-20 now, ops to security. Security part's still there. Security part's more solid than ever. But the ops part has just made that pie much bigger. Their ability to just do things better, do them more economically, measure things proactively instead of reactively. It's just a huge increase.
Yeah, it's phenomenal that our industry has actually gone from a pure security loss prevention space to an operations space as well. It's phenomenal. Hey, as we wrap up this podcast, this has been a great episode. Thank you so much for participating.
Yeah.
For those sales leaders out there that have run small sales groups, without a lot of the tools and resources, if you can give them one, I know one's a difficult answer, but if you can give them one piece of advice or guidance as to what they should do to help take that next step to become a sales leader like you, what would it be?
In the Zeus environment.
In the Zeus environment or anybody that's watching.
Yeah. I would say embrace the changes we've spoken about. They all have quick serve restaurants in their marketplace that they are probably trying to sell on a commodity basis to, that they can now sell on a value added basis to. But I think more importantly, embrace the change, embrace what we bring to the table from a knowledge standpoint. I sit across and you sit across the table in meetings every day with people now that maybe know more than we do about certain parts of the business. Now, we may know more than they about others, but they know more than we do. They've lived it, they've experienced it, they've done it. I'm learning from people every day. So to just broaden your horizons from a technology and from a knowledge standpoint, and the knowledge that's available to you and the resources that are available to you through Zeus and the industry in general.
So as you all know, I'm very involved in the industry. So for those that are not part of the Zeus family or won't become part of the Zeus family, there are tons of industry resources that can help you get there.
Yeah.
But for those that join the Zeus family, we have all these resources here and we can help with it.
Yeah, and they are invaluable.
Well, this has been great, Chris. I can't thank you enough for participating.
Sure, Scott.
I can't thank you enough for the last 18 years. And more than anything, excited about this incredible journey that we're on together as we build a modern and enduring business, one that actually has a great impact on our customers and one that helps us live our mission of protecting people, property, and profits. Thanks so much, Chris.
My pleasure.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode of the 3P's podcast, Protecting People, Property, and Profits. A big thank you to Chris McGurk for joining us and sharing his leadership perspective on building strong sales teams, expanding into new markets, and creating lasting customer relationships. Chris's approach to sales leadership is a great example of how aligning people, strategy, and services can drive meaningful and measurable growth. At Zeus, we know that protecting people, property, and profits takes more than great products. It takes great leaders like Chris helping us move our business forward each and every day. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, like, and share with your team, and tune in for more conversations with the leaders shaping the future of the fire and security industry. I'm Scott Elkins. Thanks for listening. And remember, at Zeus, we're better when we're together.